Welcome back to O'Fallon for the third game of a three-game series between the River City Rascals and the Windy City Thunderbolts. Before this three-game set, these two teams had just finished a series in the Windy City at the beginning of August, a meeting that was won by the Thunderbolts 2-1. Coming into this series, both teams were riding high. The Thunderbolts had just missed a sweep of the lowly Gateway Grizzlies, and they haven't lost a series since their mid-July meeting with the Southern Illinois Miners, in which they were swept. The Rascals dropped the first of a three-game set with the Joliet Slammers last Tuesday, but after a rainout on Wednesday, they came back on top in both games of a doubleheader on Thursday, using only 2 pitchers through the combined 14 innings of the 2 shortened games. The past doesn't matter, though. All that matters is what these two teams put up today and in the final month of this season. And right now, the Rascals have much more to play for than the Thunderbolts. The Rascals are right on the cusp of a wildcard spot, while the Thunderbolts are trying desperately to maintain a .500 record. Keep that in mind while watching today's game. Which proves the bigger motivator, the Thunderbolts' pride or the Rascals' postseason hopes? Danny Cannella is becoming a household name in River City with his phenomenal play at the plate this year, and he is the key for the Rascals in this game. Cannella laid down the hammer with a 3-run moonshot over the infamous big dog wall in right field.
A 3-run homer for Danny Cannella, and the Rascals lead 5-1.
To cap River City's 5-run third inning in the second game of the doubleheader last Thursday. That was a game characterized by stellar defensive plays by both teams, but Cannella's homer gave the Rascals the spark they needed to down the Slammers. Cannella has also been a steady player all season long, and his steady and powerful bat was his ticket to this first career All-Star game this year. He is certainly a player to keep an eye out for at the plate today. The Thunderbolts' Austin Gallagher is another player that should have a big impact on today's game. In the Bolts' last series against the Grizzlies, Gallagher went 4 for 12 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs to raise his average to an incredible mark of .351. He's having a breakout year in his first season in the Frontier League, and there is no reason that he should be slowed down in the end of the season. Keep your eyes peeled for flashes of brilliance in Austin Gallagher as well as Danny Cannella in today's bout. Well, we're in for a treat today. These are two teams that are very capable of lighting up the scoreboard. The Thunderbolts have an electric lineup of young players led by Austin Gallagher that can put up runs in bunches, while the Rascals have an eclectic group of players, young and old, that can play a solid fundamental team game and get the job done when it's needed to. So stay right there and watch the masterpiece unfold right here at iWatchRadio.com.
We save your mobile life. Visit us at our Wentzville, Chesterfield, or Brentwood locations, or find us online at fixitcpr.com. Play ball!
We are moments away from first pitch here at T.R. Hughes Ballpark, home of the River City Rascals, who are hosting the Windy City Thunderbolts. It's the series finale for the second series of 3 between the Thunderbolts and Rascals in the 2015 regular season. The Rascals have taken the first 2 of this series, so they've ensured the series victory, and they go for the sweep today. They send Lucas Lasser on the mound, their stud left-handed starter. Lasser on the year is 2-3 with a 4.29 ERA. This is his 10th start of the year. In 52 1/3 innings, he has struck out 56 men, and will be facing the following starting lineup put together by Thunderbolt skipper Ron Biga. Leading off in right field is Coco Johnson. Mike Torrez bats second, he's the DH, followed by Austin Gallagher at first and Max White cleaning up, White in center field. The third baseman is Jacob Tanis. Ryan Dietrich getting his first start of the series, he's in left field. Marquise Riley bats seventh, he's at second, followed by Alex Chittenden at shortstop, and finally Tyler Clark is the catcher. He bats ninth after a much-deserved day of rest last night. Coco Johnson digs in. Lefty versus righty, Laster versus Johnson. Yesterday, Coco went 1 for 5. He had a single to start the game, came around to score, and that was it. He takes a called strike, and we are underway. First pitch comes at 4:08. Laster's 0-1 below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Weinstein, the umpire behind home plate. In the field, it's Jim Shalley. Same 2 umps we've had all weekend. Weinstein was the home plate ump 2 nights ago, displayed a large zone. Laster will look to take advantage of that today. The 1-1, fouled away. Another warm day in the greater St. Louis area, about 88 degrees, sun beating down. Not much of a breeze as the American flag out in center field lies limp. 1-2, Laster winds and delivers. A line drive right back into the screen, and that would have been coming right for me if it weren't for the backstop. I'm always ready. Rascals wearing their black tops with their white trousers, white numbers, white letters, black caps, black socks. The 1-2 again from Laster. Down low. Coco Johnson nearly went after that pitch but was able to hold up. Thunderbolts wearing their black tops with gray bottoms. We've got blue numbers, blue letters with white trim, black caps with blue bills, and black socks. Most players wearing blue cleats as well as Coco Johnson skies the ball down the right field line. Long run for a pair of Rascals, but neither can get there. Jackson Slade at right and Hector Crespo at second as that reaches the stands and the count holds at 2-2. Coco Johnson with an average of 280, 5 long balls, 24 RBIs. He has just 1 hit in this series. Been held quiet at the top of the lineup. The 2-2. Down low, so the count runs full. Laster, not a guy who walks very many. And he racks up those strikeouts with relative ease. The 3-2 is driven into deep left center field. Long run, but Brian Hansen makes the catch in the gap. Out number 1. And right there is a great example of why Rascals pitchers can pitch to contact and not fret too much when the ball is hit well. A ball in the gap that looked like it may be extras. Hansen makes it look easy because A, he gets great jumps and takes good routes to balls, and B, he's just so fast. In left center, he tracks down so many baseballs. Curran Radall gets most of the attention in center when it comes to impressive defensive outfielders, but Hansen right up there with Curran. And probably the strongest arm, at least in the Rascals outfield. Taylor Ard may have the strongest arm on the team, but Hansen has gunned down quite a few men from left. 2 pitches missed wide, so the count's 2-0 on Mike Torrez, the second hitter in the lineup, and the DH. Torrez has had himself a nice series. In game 1, he had 2 hits, including a solo homer, and then last night, 2 more hits, an RBI double, a walk, a steal, and a run scored. So he's done it all as he fouls a pitch away. Count is 2-1. Mentioned Laster, not with very many walks. In fact, he's walked more than 2 batters just once in his first 9 outings. And that was in maybe his most impressive outing 2 times ago at Washington when he struck out 12 and walked 3. When you have that many deep counts as a pitcher, you're bound to issue a couple of free passes. Just like when you're a hitter and you draw a lot of walks, with so many deep counts, you're bound to strike out. The 2-1 is up high. Now it is 3-1. Laster has struck out at least 7 batters 4 times. He struck out 7, 8, 10, and 12. Misses up and in and does issue a free pass to Torrez, and he is on. Mike Torrez, a guy with great on-base skills. That's why he finds himself near the top of the lineup. .310 batting average, .407 on base. That's his 42nd walk of the season. He has just 29 strikeouts. He's at first with decent speed, 13 steals this year, caught just twice, swiped a bag on the back end of a double steal yesterday in the first inning. He's at first base with 1 down, and here comes Austin Gallagher. The good news for the Rascals is that the 2 big boppers in this lineup, Torrez and Gallagher, are both lefties, and Lucas Laster is extremely tough against left-handed hitters, as here's a called strike on the outside corner to Gallagher. Laster said that recently when he was in school and leaving school, he's dropped his arm slot to more of a lower slot against lefties, making it more difficult, makes that ball look like it's coming out from behind them, and then he goes back up top against righties. He misses wide. Count is 1-1. Laster relying heavily on a fastball and a slider. That slider really a go-to pitch, and it stifles left-handed bats. He comes set from the stretch. He'll toss over to first, check on Torrez. Laster, not the hardest thrower, mid-80s. He can ramp it up to the high 80s and low 90s, he said, if he really tries, but usually sitting around that 86 to 88 mile per hour range. This ball's fouled away. Laster has some zip on that fastball, though. He has that short stride from the left side, and it really jumps on you the way his delivery comes at you. He's able to go to that slider in fastball counts, which makes that fastball really pop when you see it. Laster comes set. 1-2's the count on Austin Gallagher. Gallagher with a walk, a single, and an RBI last night. He takes a ball low and away. Gallagher second in the league in batting average with a .351 clip, .434 on base. He's second in the league in average, third in OBP. Of course, tops in the Frontier League in both of those categories is Brian Hansen, the Rascals' left fielder. Gallagher with 11 bombs and 48 RBIs this season. He has a 2-2 count and rifles the ball foul to the left side. Gallagher, a big man, first baseman, listed at 6'5", 210 pounds. I'd bet he's a little bit more than 210. Not the most fleet of foot, a good double play candidate for Laster and the Rascals, a team that can turn double plays with a relative ease. They turned 3 of them yesterday. A pitch misses low, so a full count. Second full count for Lucas Laster. All 3 hitters so far have gone to 3-ball counts against the Rascals starter. Lefty versus lefty. A throw over to Torrez. He's safe. Trying to keep him close, especially if he's going to be going on this pitch. You want to keep a strike him out, throw him out opportunity available, but Austin Gallagher has struck out just 16 times this season, a remarkably low number for such a powerful hitter. Runner not going, called strike 3. Lucas Laster paints the outside corner, and Gallagher is rung up. Strikeout number 1, out number 2. It's amazing that Gallagher has just now 17 strikeouts. He has 28 walks. Oftentimes you see a guy with a lot of power and a lot of walks will strike out quite a few times. Considered a 3 true outcome hitter. Gallagher missing one of those outcomes, though, the strikeouts. He's able to put the bat on the ball more often than not. A pitch up high to Max White, ball 1. White, the cleanup hitter and center fielder. We've seen him in center all 3 games after he was in right for all 3 last week. He and Coco Johnson flip-flopping defensive responsibilities. Johnson moves from center to right. White yesterday went 0 for 3. He had an RBI groundout in the first and a walk and run scored in the 8th. He takes a ball low. He's ahead 2-0. Max White batting .282 with 8 homers, 46 RBIs. Second in the team in the RBI category behind just Gallagher. 2 off of the team lead. Then third, though, is Mike Torrez with 24. So a big gap between the second and third place men in runs driven in on the team. Laster comes set. He kicks, delivers a ball that's flared into left field. Hansen coming in. He will make the catch, and that ends the inning. 1 walk issued by Laster. He works a couple of deep counts, but he strikes out 1 and does not allow a hit or run. Headed to the bottom of the first, it's the Thunderbolts nothing, Rascals coming up. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. See Thunderbolts scoreless in the top of the frame. They look to get on the board in the bottom. On the mound is right-handed hurler Travis Tingle. Tingle, the ace of this pitching staff, comes into this game with a record of 5-5, a 2.86 ERA. The right-hander from Louisville, Kentucky, 6'5", 220 pounds. He's 24 years old and attended Louisville. He'll be facing the following Rascals starting lineup put together by Steve Brook, presented to you by Wendy's. Curran Radall leads off. He's in center. Brian Hansen in left, and Jackson Slade in right. Taylor Ard cleans up. He's at third base. Danny Canella, the DH, and Zach Komatani at first. Batting seventh is Josh Ludy. He catches. The shortstop is Johnny Morales, and he is followed by Hector Crespo, the second baseman and final hitter in the lineup. Called strike to Radall on the outside corner, 0-1. Tingle pitching exclusively from the stretch, comes set, kicks, delivers a breaking ball on the outside corner for a called strike, and he's quickly ahead, 0-2. Tingle's in his third season with the Thunderbolts. He's having his best year. He had ERAs of 4.17 and 4.68 in his previous 2 years. Pitch outside, 1-2. He is 3 wins away from matching his career high in victories. Curran Radall at the plate went 2 for 5 yesterday. Had 2 steals, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. The 1-2 pitch, flared foul. Curran Radall batting .328. Rascals have 3 hitters up over .320. Hansen, a shade under .400. Radall at .328, and Jackson at .323. Curran also has 1 home run and 37 RBIs. He takes the ball down low. That evens the count, 2-2. Curran recently took over as the all-time games played leader in Rascals history. He's participating in game number 313 now. He passed Eric Williams, hitting coach, and dear friend of Radall's. He had 307. That was set last season. Ground ball over to the third baseman. Jacob Tanis takes it and throws over to first, 1 down. Not an easy play as Radall hit that one right on the button and was hustling down the line, but 1 away. Ryan Dietrich in left, Max White in center, and Coco Johnson in right field for the Thunderbolts. Jacob Tanis at third, Alex Chittenden at shortstop. Marquise Riley is the second baseman, and at first it's Austin Gallagher. Tyler Clark back behind the plate receiving the pitches from Travis Tingle. Ball 1 outside to Brian Hansen. Hansen had himself a day yesterday. 3 hits in his first 3 at-bats. All singles, 2 RBIs, a run scored, and a stolen base. Struck out in his final 2 plate appearances. He skies a ball out to deep right center. Long run for White, but he gets there in the gap. 2 down. Base is empty for Jackson Slade. And Slade is as hot as they come. He had 2 hits yesterday. He has 4 hits in the series. He has multiple hits in each of his last 5 games, riding a 10-game hit streak and a 14-game on-base streak, hitting .475 over the hit streak, scored 11 runs and driven in 9. He's got his average up to .323. Takes a strike at the knees. Slade with 6 homers, 28 RBIs. Getting the start in right field for the second straight day as Josh Ludy has returned to the lineup after missing a handful of games. Slade was the primary catcher while Ludy missed about a week. Swings and fouls a pitch away. 0-2's the count. Travis Tingle doing a good job of getting ahead of Rascals hitters early. Coming right at these guys. We saw yesterday some struggles for the starter, Danny Jimenez. He had trouble finding the zone, ended up walking 3 straight Rascals, including 2 with the bases loaded to force in a run. Rather, to force in 2 runs. The 0-2 to Slade is line foul. Jackson has slid into the 3rd spot in the lineup and excelled. Rascals may have found a lineup that they're going to stick with. Steve Brooks, somebody who likes to shake it up just about every day. But he's stuck with this same lineup the last 2 days and other variations of it for the last couple days before that too. And of course, when guys are hitting as well as they are right now, it's easy to just throw together a lineup and stick with it. Pitch misses high, 1-2. Radall, Hansen, Ard, Canella, all guys who have been steady contributors all season. But when Slade and Komatani, Hector Crespo, when they're getting hot as they are right now, it makes it so much easier to write up a lineup card. A pitch outside, 2-2. Jackson Slade must be seeing the ball as a beach ball right now, the way he's been hitting. Go along with his 6 homers, he has 13 doubles. Righty versus righty, Tingles 2-2. Called, strike 3 on the outside corner. Slade can't believe it, but we do know that Mike Weinstein has a big strike zone behind home plate, and that ends the inning. So 1-2-3 frame for Travis Tingle as he strikes out 1. Headed to the second, no score. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. It was Mike Torrez in the top of the first with a walk. The Rascals send just 3 to the plate in the bottom of the inning. All of them retired. Lucas Laster facing Jacob Tanis, Ryan Dietrich, and Marquise Riley in the second. First pitch is low, 1-0. Jacob Tanis batting 5th. He's at third base. He's started all 3 games this series. Held hitless. Rather had 1 hit in 4 trips yesterday. Takes ball 2 low. Also struck out twice. His hit was that infield single that was taken by Victor Baraghetti, and Baraghetti didn't make a play on it. Tanis credited with an infield single on the play. It was originally ruled an error, but overturned later. Ball tapped foul by Tanis. Jacob Tanis, a former Frontier League MVP, hasn't found his MVP stride yet this season. 4 homers, 24 RBIs, just a .224 average. The 1-2 pitch is swung and missed. Strike 3. 2 punch outs for Laster already. Here comes Ryan Dietrich. It's Harry Potter Day at the ballpark today, and the fans have packed in here at T.R. Hughes Ballpark to celebrate the Wizard. We've got some characters here. Harry Potter, Hermione, Draco. Did I see a Ron Weasley? Was there a Ron Weasley? I'm getting a no. We haven't seen the red-headed fellow yet. Called strike at the knees to Ryan Dietrich. Apparently there were some professors. Professor McGonagall. Called strike, 0-2. Dietrich, the former Rascal, played 5 games with them last year. We saw him pitch 2 days ago. Gave up 1 unearned run in his inning. Takes a pitch inside. This pitch is driven into deep center field. But Radall makes the catch. 2 down. Laster having a little more ease in finding the strike zone early on in counts in the second inning. Went to 3 3-ball strikes in the first. A couple of quick outs in the second, though. Tanis and Dietrich. 2 down, no one on. Here's Marquise Riley. Called strike. Oh, and 1, the pitch, inside. Marquise Riley batting 7th, bumped up 1 spot in the lineup, still playing second base. He went 1 for 4 yesterday, had a double, also reached on an error and scored. He lines a ball into right center field, coming in. Slade won't get there. That's the first hit for either team today. Riley's at first with 2 down. That's Riley's 3rd hit of the series. Here comes Alex Chittenden.
Shortstop, number 4, Alex Chittenden.
Chittenden did not start either of the first 2 games of this series, but he has played in both of them. Entering late, he pinch hit for Coco Johnson on Friday and came in for Ransom Lalonde last night. Takes a pitch up high, ball 1. Chittenden playing in game number 20 with the Thunderbolts. Still looking for his first homer. He has 4 runs driven in, batting .228. Marquise Riley at first base with 2 down, had a bloop single to keep the inning going against Lucas Laster, who delivers a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Marquise Riley with just 1 stolen base. He's been caught 6 times this season. Laster will throw over. He's back. Brian Hansen in left, Kern Radall on center, and Jackson Slade in right field for the Rascals. Taylor Ard at third base. Johnny Morales at short. Second baseman Hector Crespo with Zach Comatani at first. Josh Ludy's 2nd straight day behind the plate after missing a couple of games. Called strike, 1-2 from Lucas Laster. Looks like the Rascals middle infielders decided to go socks up with the stirrups. Morales and Crespo both sporting the black stirrups, maroon and white rings and maroon sanitaries underneath. Brian Hansen left, going with the same look, although it's typical to see him with stirrups. Not so much for J-Mo and Hector. Another check on Riley. 1-2's the count, 2 down. Lucas Laster struck out Jacob Tanis and got Ryan Dietrich to fly out. He then allowed a bloop single to Marquise Riley. He's facing Alex Chittenden, the shortstop, called strike 3. He's caught looking. It's already the 3rd strikeout for Laster through just 2 innings. Headed to the bottom of the frame, Rascals and Thunderbolts scoreless. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Travis Tingle. Tingle set them down in order in the first. First pitch to Ard, up and in, ball one. Ard, another impressive game yesterday. Went 2 for 5. Had a single, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Ard is having himself a series. 6 total hits as he rips one down the left field line. Well, foul and onto the playground. Ard 6 for 11. He scored 3 times. He has 3 doubles, a homer, and 4 RBIs in this series. He has handled business against these Thunderbolts. Not only in this series, but in the previous one. As he lines a ball foul. Taylor Ard with 22 home runs, 57 RBIs, and a .291 batting average. He has a 1-2 count. The pitch, inside, nearly gets a piece of him. They're going to say it did. It grazed Taylor Ard on the elbow, and he'll take first base. Taylor Ard plunked by another pitch. That's the 13th time he's been hit this year. That leads the team, and that's among league leaders in the Frontier League. Only Brandon Tierney of the Grays and Josh Allen of the Otters have been hit by more pitches this year. Both of them have been plunked 17 times, 13 for Ard. First Rascal to reach base. He's at first. Here's Danny Cannella. Cannella swings and lines a ball into center field. First pitch swing and he gets a knock, and the Rascals have 2 men on with nobody out. This game is the first game of the series in which neither team scored in the first inning. The Thunderbolts scored at the top of the first in both games. Rascals scored in the bottom on Friday. They did not score in the first inning yesterday, but they put up 7 in the second. It all started with leadoff singles by Ard and Cannella. Both men have reached here with nobody out. First pitch up and in to Zach Komatani. Comey held hitless yesterday. A rarity the way he's been hitting recently. He did walk once, though. He shows bunt, lays one down towards the third base side. Tingle takes it. He throws to first and gets him. It's a 1-3 sacrifice bunt for Komatani. Cannella goes to second. Ard to third, just 1 down for Josh Ludy. Ludy had a single and a walk yesterday, his first game back since he left Sunday's game after taking a backswing to the back of the head. Ludy did not drive in a run, but he scored once. That was in the second. He walked in that second inning. That loaded the bases with 1 down before Johnny Morales and Hector Crespo drew bases loaded walks. First pitch to Ludy. It's tapped high to the left side. It's taken by Tanis. He throws to first and gets Josh Ludy, but Ard scores and the Rascals lead 1-0. That's how you manufacture a run. Ard is hit by a pitch, goes to second on the single, to third on a sacrifice bunt, and then scores on a bouncer to the left side. That one took a high chop in the air. Third baseman Tanis had to leap up to get it. That's what made it easy for Ard to score. He got a good read, saw that ball was going to bounce and have a long hang time, and he had plenty of time to score. Cannella has to stay at second base since that ball was hit right in front of him. 2 down. Here's Johnny Morales, who takes a strike at the letters. Give Josh Ludy an RBI. That is Ludy's 31st run driven in of the year. Good situational hitting by the catcher. Johnny Morales taps the ball foul behind home plate. J-Mo officially 2 for 2 yesterday. He walked in the second. That forced in a run. He also scored in that frame. He singled in the third. He laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th, and he doubled and scored in the 7th. very productive day for the Rascals shortstop. He's hitting with 2 down and in scoring position. Rascals lead 1-0 bottom of the first. Takes a pitch high, 1-2. Morales batting .228, 1 homer, 15 RBIs. Playing in game number 51 of the year. Missed nearly a month after taking a ball off the right wrist. He was on the DL from July 13th to August 5th. Glad to have him back, though. Great job by Josh Silver filling in. Silver can now be used all over the diamond as needed as a utility guy for Steve Brook. Johnny Morales reaches out and pokes the ball into right field. It's a single. Canella goes to third and stops there, and the Rascals have men on the corners with 2 down for Hector Crespo. Nice hitting by Morales. Fastball on the outer half. He was just able to stick that bat into the zone and get the single. Hector Crespo up, the 9th hitter in the lineup. Crespo takes a strike at the knees. Hector had 1 hit and 1 walk yesterday. Drove in a pair of runs, had a steal and a run, 2 steals, and a run scored. 0-1. Swung on and missed. He's in an 0-2 hole. Mentioned he's wearing those stirrups, usually with the socks pulled down to the shoe tops. Going with an alternate look today, though. Maybe he wanted to dress up a little bit as the Rascals did their team photo today. The 0-2 is swung on and missed strike 3, chasing a ball in the dirt. That ends the inning. But the Rascals do score a run on 2 hits and a hit by pitch. They're up 1-0 going to the 3rd. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Thanks to an RBI ground out by Josh Ludy in the 2nd inning. Lucas Laster with 3 strikeouts through the first 2 frames. He's allowed 1 walk and 1 single. Tyler Clark, the 9 hitter and catcher, will lead off. Clark, a switch hitter, batting from the right side of the plate for the first time in this series. He takes a ball just low and in. Clark didn't play yesterday. It was Larry Balkwill behind the plate. Balkwill drew a couple of walks while filling in for the catcher. Clark started on Friday, though. He went 0 for 4. He takes a strike. 1-1. Tyler Clark batting just 164 with 1 homer and 10 RBIs. He drives a ball into deep right field, though, ranging over his Slade. He'll make the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the lineup, Coco Johnson to hit. Johnson 0 for 1. He flew out to left field his first time up. Laster coming back from his worst start of the year. He went just an inning and a third, gave up 8 runs, 7 earned. Delivers a strike to Johnson, 0-1. Laster looking sharp again. Had to labor a bit in the first inning, but has bounced back well in the second and third now. Breaking ball misses, 1-1. Laster has put together a couple of the most impressive starts by a Rascals pitcher this season. Pitch down low. Of course, his debut, he went 8 2/3 and was 1 pitch away from a complete game shutout. He punched out 10, eventually got no decision. His 12 strikeout performance 2 starts ago for a 7-inning, 1-run, 3-hitter. That was a complete game in game 2 of a doubleheader. He also had a complete game shutout in game 2 of a doubleheader on July 18th at the Rockford Aviators. 10-0 was the win for the Rascals. Gave up no runs, 1 walk, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts. Ball low, 3-1 on Coco Johnson. He skies a ball to the left side into foul territory. Taylor Ard giving chase. Good hustle, but he runs out of room as that lands on the berm. The Normal Corn Belters and Rockford Aviators are meeting up for their series finale. They're playing 3 in Normal this weekend. They played last weekend when the Rascals played the Thunderbolts as well, so they're sort of on the same schedule as the Rascals. The 3-2 pitch is driven into center field. Curran Radall settles under it. Out number 2. Corn Belters already up 8-2. That's in the 7th inning. And it looks like they're going to sweep the Rockford Aviators. If the Rascals were able to sweep the Windy City Thunderbolts, that means they would have made up 3 games in the standings in just 3 days. Corn Belters have blown out Rockford in the last 2 days. Called strike to Mike Torrez, hitting with 2 outs and nobody on. Torrez walked in the first, was stranded at first base though. He takes the ball just below the knees. The Corn Belters won by a score of 14-3, then 11-0. They're up 8-2. Called strike, 1-1. Rather, 1-2's the count on Torrez. The Aviators the only other game in progress right now. Ball misses wide, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Southern Illinois Miners and Evansville Otters are just about to get underway, but that's going to be a 5:05 start Central Time, so that's still about 15 minutes away. Ball misses low, so the count runs full. 3-2 on Torrez. Traverse City Beach Bums visiting the Gateway Grizzlies. That game's yet to get underway. That's a 6:05 Central Time start. There's a foul ball to the right side. Frontier Grays and Lake Erie Crushers already played a doubleheader. Crushers winning game 1 by a score of, the Grays winning game 1 by a score of 3-2. Crushers winning game 2, 2-1. The payoff pitch, once again, is fouled away. Florence Freedom and Joliet Slammers have completed a game. Slammers winning 4-3. And the Boomers topped the Washington Wild Things 3-2. Only one game has our attention, though. That's the Corn Belters and the Aviators, and it looks as if the first place Aviators are going to lose, which would draw Normal and Rockford into a first place tie. Ball 4 inside. Torrez has walked for his second time today. Great on base skills we mentioned earlier for the left-hander, and he continues to display them. If Normal holds on, both teams will be 41 and 31, 10 games over 500. Rascals looking to improve to 8 over. Rascals riding a 4-game win streak. Corn Belters have won 3 in a row, while the Aviators have lost their last 2. First pitch to Gallagher, a called strike. Austin Gallagher struck out looking in the first inning. He's down 0-1. Interesting that Laster's had a tough time with the left-handed hitting Torrez. Handled Gallagher just fine first time around, though. He hits a bouncer up the middle into center field. Gallagher makes me eat my words. Torrez goes to second. Lefties are hitting about 40 points worse against Lucas Laster than righties are. Laster now to face White. Max White hitting with 2 down and 2 men on. Laster got 2 quick outs, a fly out to right and a fly out to center in this inning before walking Torrez and allowing the Gallagher single. Called strike to White. White flew out to left his first time up. Rascals up 1-0. They scored a run in the bottom of the second. Each team with 2 hits, no errors. Line drive into the backstop. Count is 0-2 on the center fielder and cleanup hitter. White batting .282. 8 homers, 3 of them in one game against the Rascals back on last Saturday. Drove in 8 runs in that game. The 0-2 yanked foul. He hit a solo homer, a 2-run homer, and a grand slam. All that was missing for that home run cycle was a 3-run homer. Taylor Ard earlier this year had a solo shot, a 2-run homer, and 3-run homer all in one game. Laster set, the 0-2, inside. No lights needed yet, not even 5 o'clock Central Time. Sun is hiding behind some clouds right now, providing some relief for the fans in the stands. Still a scorcher, sun beating down or not. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Left-handed Laster facing the right-handed hitting Max White. Another line drive foul. Thunderbolts haven't found much success against Laster yet, but they have made him throw a lot of pitches, not putting in an easy at-bat yet. Laster now spins around and looks Torrez back to second. Mike Torrez is at second base. He walked to keep the inning going with 2 outs. Gallagher then singled. He's at first. Laster's 1-2 again. Comes inside and hits the batter, Max White. That one got him down low around the shin area. He tumbles to the ground momentarily, but hops up and trots down to first. Bases are loaded. There are 2 down. All this happening with 2 outs. Jacob Tanis to hit. Tanis with 24 runs driven in. He struck out swinging in the second inning. Laster plunked 2 batters in his last start. That's the 4th he's hit this year. First pitch, driven into deep right field, hooking into foul territory. Jackson Slade won't get there as that lands on the dog pound patio. Laster, a guy who hasn't really had much trouble in any department when it comes to command. He had 14 walks, 3 hit batters, and just 1 wild pitch entering play today. Although he does have 2 walks and has hit a batter in this game. Laster has recaptured the team lead in strikeouts, entered play with 56, 1 behind Tim Coons for team lead. He has struck out 3 already. We're not even through 3 innings. Laster doing all of this in just 53 plus innings. Pitch inside. The pitch to Tanis. Lined in onto the berm once again. Count is 1-2 on the third baseman. Rascals looking to escape this jam. Bases loaded, 2 down. Torrez at first. Gallagher at second. At first, it's Max White. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lucas Laster makes Tanis look goofy. Way out ahead of that pitch, and that ends the inning. Strikeout number 4 for Laster, and he preserves the Rascals' 1-0 lead. Headed to the bottom of the third, you're listening to Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Rascals have 2 hits, 1 run. Called strike to Curran Radall. Curran grounded out 5-3 in the first inning. Tingle's pitch is lined down the right field line. That's going to hook foul, though. Curran Radall is now 6 for 12 in this series. He's scored 4 times and driven in a pair of runs. Curran is second on the team in runs scored. Taylor Ard has crossed the plate 58 times, now 59, as he scored the first run of the game. Curran with 53 runs total. Taylor Ard was tied with Patrick McKenna with 58 runs scored entering play. Have to assume that if Normal scored 8 runs, McKenna has crossed the plate at least once or twice. Curran Radall's in the top 5 with 53. Pitch in the dirt, 1-2. Radall giving the Rascals plenty of opportunities to drive him in. 97 hits leads the league. Go along with 30 walks, a career high. He lines the ball foul. Radall's 97 hits, 2 more than Michael Early of Southern Illinois. He's second. One and two on Curran Radall. He hit a sharp grounder over to Jacob Tanis in the first inning. It's a bouncer deep in the hole right side. It's going to have to be a quick play, and it is made by Gallagher, throwing over to the covering pitcher, Tingle. A 1-3 putout. It looks as if Patrick McKenna has scored 1 run in today's game. So he and Taylor Ard still tied with 59 runs. That game is now 8-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rockford considered one of the best rotations in the Frontier League. Probably Rockford in the West and Evansville in the East. But they have not lived up to the hype this series against the normal Corn Belters. The Rascals handled them pretty well, as did these Windy City Thunderbolts last week before the Rascals and Thunderbolts matched up last week. The Thunderbolts scored 10 runs or more in all 3 games, taking 2 out of 3 from Rockford. A ball and now a called strike to Brian Hansen as he swings and skies a ball foul, 1-2. Hansen's 0 for 1. He flew out to center field his first time up. So Rockford's pitching. It's taking a downturn in the second half. Obviously the Rascals won 4 out of 4 from them starting the second half. You got guys like Kyle Hasna, Kyle Brigham, Tony Rosati, 3 All-Stars who had phenomenal first halves. Pitch up high, 2-2. The pitch to Hansen, lined up the middle, may have broken his bat. The shortstop, Chittenden, throws to first. He's safe. Chittenden hesitated with that ball. That's going to go as a hit. An infield single for Brian Hansen. Chittenden just hesitated momentarily, and that's all it takes for Hansen to reach base. He's 1 for 2. Third hit of the game for the Rascals. That's Hansen's 5th hit of the series. He's now 5 for 11. He's crossed the plate 4 times. He's walked twice, driven in 3 runs. He's had himself a heck of a series, but for a guy who's batting nearly 400, it's just kind of typical. Here is Jackson Slade with 1 down. Runner going on the first pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Not in time. A hit and run. Jackson Slade had no chance to get a bat on that ball. Way low and away. Did his best to try to get a piece of it. Couldn't, but it's all right because Hansen's safe at second base. Now he has a man in scoring position, and Jackson Slade can turn into RBI mode. 24th steal of the year for Hansen. Ground ball up the middle. Chittenden takes it again. The shortstop throw to first is in time this time. Slade goes down 6-3. Hansen moves up to third. Taylor Ard up. Ard was hit by a pitch in the second inning. Team leader with 57 ribbies has a man at third, Hansen, with 2 down. Richard Lucas still atop the league with 60 runs driven in. That was entering play. Pitch down low, 1-0. Lucas has driven in 3 more today, so he's at 63. Ard second, Cannella third. And then